All right, welcome back to another episode of the Jay Youngblood Experience. I'm going to start it off a little bit different today. We have a new segment brought to you by the Augusta Hemp Company. It's called Dumbass of the Day. And the Dumbass of the Day, Dumbass of the Week, goes to all Georgia fans. You're probably like, we didn't even lose this week. why are we Dumbasses of the Week? And that is because after the Alabama game on Saturday, my inbox was flooded with stuff saying, "Oh, you're gonna talk Alabama on the pod. You're gonna talk about Alabama on the pod." And yeah, I'm gonna get to that for sure. But the reason y'all get dumbass of the day, because how much y'all talked about Alabama, and y'all don't realize less than a week and a half ago, y'all lost to these motherfuckers. Georgia fans are so fucking delusional, so delusional. Let me give y'all a breakdown of why I think y'all are delusional. First off, the last two losses y'all had last year and this year have came to who? Alabama. Who beat y'all this year? Alabama. You're not the reigning SEC champions. Alabama beat you. You're not the reigning national champions. You didn't even make it to the playoff. You're not even currently the best team based on record in the SEC. That's Texas. And technically speaking, if you're looking at the SEC, A&M has 3 wins in the SEC currently, so they're probably at the top even with 1 loss because they have the most games played right now in the SEC. They have 3 wins, 1 loss in the SEC, and they just beat Missouri, by the way, who was a top 10 team previously. And you can't win on the road. Last 2 games y'all played on the road, Kentucky and Alabama. Kentucky team, you look like shit. Alabama game, you look like shit. You're not even the best in the Southeast right now, and you're still talking about Alabama's loss. Do y'all not realize that you just lost to these motherfuckers? You just lost. Yeah, and I'll get in it. Is it hysterical that Alabama lost to Vanderbilt? Absolutely. I laughed. It's hilarious. But Georgie, what have you done for me lately? What have you done? Lost to Alabama the last 2 times y'all played them. I think Kirby Smart is 1-6 against Alabama. Not the SEC. You're not even in the top of the SEC. You're not reigning champs of the SEC. You're not reigning champs at all. You beat Auburn. Good comeback win. Not comeback as in coming back from down, but coming back after a loss and winning. But you haven't done shit. Michigan's the reigning champion. Alabama's the reigning champion in the SEC. What is there to talk about? Yes, Alabama lost, but you lost to them fucks. You lost a week and a half ago. You lost. You did not win. So what is there to talk about? What is there to talk about? You couldn't hold the edge against Alabama. When y'all did come back against Alabama, they were like, okay, showtime, let's play. Threw it up to Ryan Williams, wins the game. Carson Beck throws an interception to lose the game. What is there to talk about? You lost to Alabama. You lost. Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. If that's something you need to talk about, that makes you feel better. That should make you feel worse about the game you just lost. What, are y'all delusional? Are y'all dumb? You're not even the top ranked team in the SEC currently. And you lost to Alabama. You can't beat last 2 years, the only losses y'all have are to Alabama. What is there to talk about? What? So y'all get dumbasses of the week, since there's a whole group. I don't want to see any barking for the rest of the year after that loss to Alabama. A loss is a loss. A lot of people talk about how you came back. I mean, you can get into that about how Alabama was playing a little bit conservative going into the third quarter. They were up 28 or 30-7 at the time. What is there to talk about? You lost. You lost. Vanderbilt got one for you if that makes you feel good. I mean, sure. But y'all get dumbasses of the week. Dumbasses of the week goes to Georgia. And y'all deserve it because I'm tired of hearing y'all speak. You just lost to the team that you're praying on a downfall for. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. How does it even make sense? How does that correlate? You're currently, what, number, let's see. It's not even showing me the full thing right now. Yeah, it is. There we go. You're number 5. Penn State's ahead of you. Oregon's ahead of you. Ohio State's ahead of you. And Texas ahead of you. And I guess y'all must forget, y'all got to play Texas in just over 2 weeks. At Texas. Y'all must forget. Y'all must have forgot. How y'all slid in over Miami, who's undefeated, I don't know. But y'all lost to Alabama. Just take it. Take the fucking L and move on. You have more things to worry about than Alabama's loss to Vanderbilt. I promise. And of course, Georgia fans, I heard them speaking now. When they start losing, they got to blame somebody. So Carson Beck was it now. They're talking about, oh, well, we think Brock Vandagriff is better. I think he's better. He's not. Especially, you can talk about talent, cool, whatever. Carson Beck has the experience you want at a quarterback position currently, and he's a top 10 or top. He's going to be a top 10 pick roughly in the draft. It's insane. What is there to talk about? You lost to Bama. Take the L. Go about your day. Take the L. Go about your day. You're not undefeated. You're 4-1. Take the L and go away. I'm tired of hearing it. Dumbasses of the week, and that goes to none other than, drumroll please, University of Georgia fans. You deserve it. Honestly, y'all could probably win it every week, but I gotta give it to somebody else. And that was brought to you by the Augusta Hemp Company for all your hemp needs, as well as drinks. They have gummies, they have pre-rolls, they have everything you need. Augusta Hemp Company, go see them. All right, let's get into some of these games. Obviously, we're going to start with the Georgia-Auburn game. Not really much to talk about there. 31-13. Carson Beck with 240 yards passing, 2 TDs. Trevor Etienne, 16 carries, 88 yards, and 2 tutties. Top receiver for Georgia was Kobe Young with 3 receptions, 51 yards. Peyton Thorne of the Auburn Tigers only had 200 yards passing. Jaquez Hunter had 91 yards rushing with 1 touchdown. And Keandre Lambert-Smith had 7 receptions for 95 yards. We expected this. We expected this at all. It was a close game going into the third quarter. Georgia was only up by 4. It was 14-10. Then they started running away with it. By the end of the third quarter, it was 21-10. And then 10-28 and 31-13 at the end of the game. Total yards for Georgia, 381, 240 yards passing, 141 yards rushing. Auburn put up around 337 yards. Not to talk about much in this game. I don't want to get any hype to Georgia right now or their fans. We have a big game coming up for Georgia against Texas, as I mentioned. You do have to play Mississippi State next week at home, or this upcoming week at home. Should be easy win. Y'all play well between the hedges. It's just that game, those games away, it looks like this year is a little bit rough for you. A little bit rough. I know you only play 2 games away currently, but both those games, 13-12 against Kentucky and 41-34 against Alabama. And we got a big game coming up, and that's going to be one of the most anticipated games of the season besides that Georgia-Alabama game that we saw what happened. What is Georgia going to do? I talked to a few Georgia fans, especially all y'all in my inbox, texting me after the Alabama game. Like I said, y'all are more worried about the Alabama game than y'all were your own game. That's completely fine. Do your thing. But you got 3 big games left in the season. You got Texas away, you got Ole Miss away, and you got Tennessee at home. I know Tennessee just lost to Arkansas. That's okay. Y'all lost to Alabama. It's 1-1. All we look at is the board. What is Georgia going to do going in against number 1 Texas? I guess is the big question coming out of not only the Auburn game, but the Alabama game as well. Quinn Ewers is back. Only problem for Georgia, if the Quinn Ewers go down, you got Arch Manning coming out. And playing at home, man. Playing at home. I talked to a few Georgia fans who said this team is overrated. This team is just not prepared. Said he knew Alabama was going to beat them. This is one of the good Georgia fans, one of my good buddies. But seeing how Georgia plays on the road versus how they play at home, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. And also, Georgia fans, the biggest thing y'all have done between last year and this year is lose to Bama and beat Florida State by 60 points. That's all y'all have done. That's it. I don't know what you're ranting and raving about. You're still holding on to that ship from almost 2 years ago. Holding on to it, I get it. You want to hold on to it, that's fine. But what have you done lately? And lately you haven't done shit. You haven't. Stop bragging and boasting. I don't want to hear any barking on all fours by you grown men. You haven't done anything. In some big key matchups this year, you struggled. Kentucky, Georgia, for example. Mississippi State, that should be a run-through. What are you going to do against Texas? Are you going to beat Florida significantly? Are you going to beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss? Are you going to beat Tennessee at home? We'll see. Seems like when the pressure of the away game gets on Georgia, they kind of fade away. I don't know what it is. I know Kirby Smart's a hell of a motivator, but watching that Alabama game, watching that Kentucky game, what's going on? Most talented roster in the league, and we don't know what's going on. You got Trevor Etienne from Florida. I think he's a hell of an athlete. A lot of Florida fans hate him, and I can understand. He's the Kevin Durant of what you had going on. But Georgia, we need to see more. If y'all go into Texas and lose, I don't want to hear anything else again. Obviously, you can still make it into the playoff. But still, I mean, are they going to let Georgia, who doesn't go to the SEC championship, or let Georgia in, even though they didn't win the SEC? We'll see. I guess we'll see at the end of the year. I guess I'm speaking a little, too early for that. But you got some big games on the road coming up. What are you going to do? And how? Please, God, what could have made this weekend so funny is if Alabama lost and Georgia lost. It would have been absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. It would have made my week. Love to see it. A lot of you out there talk about SEC pride. I don't really know what that is. I have one team, and that's LSU Tigers. Go Tigers! And I don't care about the SEC. I hope you all lose. I don't care. I don't give a shit about that. I hope you all lose. But Georgia fans, yes, I don't want to hear from you right now. I don't. You beat Auburn. Congratulations. Don't want to hear from you right now. It's not something I want to hear about. Not something I want to get into. All that shit talk over the preseason. You come in, lose to Alabama, the biggest game of the year, and you folded. So I don't want to hear it. I don't care about the comeback. A loss is a loss. At one point, you were down 28 points to Alabama in Tuscaloosa. I don't want to hear it. Hashtag dumbasses of the week. Going on to the next game, we got Tennessee and Arkansas. Now, a lot of you were surprised by this, and I was too. But it's another away game for an SEC team playing another SEC team where it proves again that it's hard to win on the road. Tennessee's quarterback, Nico, how you pronounce his last name, only had 156 yards passing. Taylor Green of Arkansas had 266. Dylan Sampson did ball out on the run, though. He had 140 yards rushing with 2 TDs. Braylon Russell for Arkansas had 8 carries, 62 yards. Deontay Thornton of Tennessee only had 42 yards receiving. And Andrew Armstrong of the Razorbacks had 9 receptions, 132 yards. I don't really know what happened in this game. Tennessee was a heavy favorite, and they shit the bed. It's just going in again, talking about how these teams, when you play on the road, it's hard. It's not easy. Everybody thought after Oklahoma that Tennessee was going to be this prime candidate. Maybe they still are. Maybe they had a shit game. Just, it happens. You beat Oklahoma. Congratulations. But you have to think, Tennessee's only played Chattanooga, NC State, Kent State, and then Oklahoma the week before Arkansas. I mean, come on. They haven't really played many teams that are that good. They come into Arkansas, who has a decent run game and a decent pass attack as well, and they lose. Another thing I love to see, Tennessee going down. Who doesn't love to see it? I do. It's hilarious. Seeing Georgia go down, seeing Alabama go down, seeing Tennessee go down, seeing Missouri go down, seeing Michigan go down. Like I said, if Ohio State and Georgia lost this past week, I would have had a heart attack. It's been a great week. And you probably think I'm a hater right now, and that's fine. I'll be the hater of the week. But seeing Tennessee lost is a great thing. All their fans are pretty delusional as well. They come into the season always talking shit about how they're going to win. And we see what happens with them. And we love to see it. Let's see. Tennessee, you have Florida coming up. Then Alabama at home. You got to play Kentucky and then Georgia. Or Mississippi State and Georgia. I see y'all held all your easy opponents for the early season. I see that. And that's all fine and dandy until you play a team that will slap you in the mouth, and then we see what happens. But Tennessee, you got Florida next. They don't look great. You're going to lose to Alabama. You may lose to Kentucky. You're going to lose to Georgia, too. You may come out of this with 4 losses, brother. God bless you. Tennessee Volunteers fans that always look good in the beginning, and then when you actually play a fucking team that knows how to slap you in the mouth, you just don't know what to fucking do you? Absolutely not. Big surprise for me also is this Texas A&M and where is it at? I just pulled it up. And Missouri game. Another one that's laughable. My Missouri dropped all the way down to 21. That's hilarious. 41-10. Missouri loses to Texas A&M at Texas A&M. Nothing much to say except it was a blowout, and I think it was a shocker for a lot of people because Texas A&M is not that great a football team. But they came out and showed what they had against Missouri. At halftime, it was, 24-0? You fucks didn't score until the late third quarter? That's shit time. Going into the fourth, it was 34-7. Y'all finally scored you a little field goal. 8 seconds left. This is a little moral victory for you. And you lost 41-10. I love to see it. It's absolutely a masterpiece. I love college football. All this hype on Missouri and how good they looked. And just like Tennessee, they played Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, Vanderbilt the week before. They come in and play a top 25 team finally, and they get absolutely obliterated. Love to see it. Overhyped teams deserve to lose. That's why I'm always hating on Notre Dame. I love to see it. Overhyped teams like Missouri. At one point, I thought they were a tough team. Then I did watched some highlights, watched some of the game, even the past few games. They almost lost to Boston College. Tough team. Almost lost to Vanderbilt. Had to go to OT against Vandy. Then they come out against a top 25 opponent in Texas A&M. And it's a slaughterhouse. Absolute slaughterhouse. They were kept scoreless through 3 quarters. Man. And we're talking about Texas A&M. We're not talking about Georgia. We're not talking about Alabama, not Texas. Texas A&M. Now it's 41-10. God bless. But I love to see it. I'm cool with it. I'm very cool with it. These overhyped teams need to go ahead and get spread out, get taken care of. I love the new schedules they're putting out too. You're going to play the good teams in the SEC one way or another, and it happened. It happened. They're going to lose again on October 26th to Alabama. They're going to lose to Oklahoma. This team is. I thought they were, but if you look back at some of the tape and you look at some of these teams they played, Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, and they almost lost to Vanderbilt and Boston College. Had to go to OT with Vandy. No hype for this team whatsoever. I don't want to hear it from anybody. Rest in peace to Missouri. Now let's look at A&M. A&M is 3-1 in the SEC with one loss. So far, they only lost to Notre Dame, McNeese, they beat, Florida they beat, Bowling Green they beat Arkansas, who just beat Tennessee. They beat they beat Missouri, got Mississippi State next. They go to play LSU after that, South Carolina, New Mexico State, Auburn, and then Texas #1 to end the season. Dark horse alert! Dark horse alert! This Texas A&M team may be making a run. Maybe they're going to lose to LSU, but with 2 losses, if they beat Texas with a rivalry game coming up like that, gonna have some things going on. They're throwing a wrench in it, boy. Throwing a damn wrench in it. Now let's get to another team that I love to hate, and that's Michigan. Now Michigan lost to Washington 27-17. Jack Tuttle, let's talk about him real quick. Only 98 yards passing, a touchdown and an interception. 95 of those yards came to Donovan Edwards with 1 TD. No, Donovan Edwards, my bad. Let me take that back. Donovan Edwards rushed for 95 yards, 1 TD. Colson Loveland, 6 receptions, 33 yards. Will Rogers, 271 yards passing, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Jonah Coleman, 18 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. And Denzel Boston, 5 receptions, 80 yards, 1 TD. At one point, Washington was up by 14 points on these boys. And in the third quarter, Michigan had the lead. But in all fashion, Michigan lost the game in the fourth quarter with, 10 unanswered points? 10 unanswered points to lose the game. Washington had a total of 430 total yards, 315 passing, 114 rushing. Michigan only had 113 yards passing, 174 yards rushing. It's another thing I just love to see it. I love to see it. Seeing Michigan lose, this was a great weekend for college football. It was great. Besides the last weekend when Georgia lost, but this weekend was great. Alabama went down. Tennessee went down. Missouri went down, and Michigan went down. We just weaving out the weeds, getting all the bullshit teams out of here. Absolutely love to see it. I remember everybody still being on the hype train for Michigan. Now you're looking at with 2 losses, like they are not going to make the playoffs. They're not. If we're looking at their schedule leading up, you got Michigan State next, Oregon, who's number 3 right now. You got Indiana, who's number 18, Northwestern, and then you have Ohio State, who's currently number 2, and they're killing folks right now. Michigan ain't doing shit. All my Michigan fans, I'm sorry, but you're not doing shit. You're not doing shit. It's over for them boys. Absolutely over. And then you have Miami. I'm not going to go depth in that game. They almost lost that game. Cam Ward came through and threw a touchdown to win the game. Michigan, I'm so happy y'all lost. And shout out to Florida State. Y'all are currently 1-5. 1-5. All that hype behind y'all. Y'all are 1-5 now. Absolutely love to see it. This game is so great. It's so awesome. I love to see it. I love to see it. Love to see it, and I still think Cam Ward is going to win the Heisman, and maybe what's his name from Boise State? I don't remember his name. Shit, I'm about to look it up. Ashton Genty? Yeah, Ashton Genty, who, by the way, in the same games currently, if you compare him and Derrick Henry's Heisman year, he has 2 times the amount of rushing yards Derrick Henry did his Heisman year, and 2 times the touchdowns. He has 15 touchdowns currently, by the way. I think, 1,300 yards rushing? I think so. Close to 1,300 yards. I could be wrong. Somebody fact check me if you want. That's cool. I don't got nobody, doing my shit for me, so. But it's getting down. There he is. Yeah, I'm about to look up his shit right now. Let's see. Nah, I was wrong. It's not 1,300 yards. It's 1,031 yards with 16 tutties. Still has 2 times the amount that Derrick Henry had his Heisman year. 2 times the touchdowns, too. He's averaging 10 yards a carry. Holy shit. Holy shit. Dude is balling. It's either going to be him or Cam Ward, I think, for Heisman. They're not too. Heisman as well as MVP voting in NFL always goes to quarterbacks, but he's balling this year. Jesus Christ. Almost 1,100 yards, almost 11, basically 11 yards per carry and 16 touchdowns. And let's see, they've played. They only really played Oregon, to be honest. And they lost to Oregon only by 3 points. He still had 200 yards rushing that game. Holy shit, this dude is good. Wow. Only time, I guess they took him out, but I guess they wanted whoever that is, with that Presbyterian? Portland State Vikings. Yeah, I never heard of them before, but they played them. Apparently, I would have taken them out to not get injured either. Crazy sauce, bro. It's going to be Cam Ward. It's going to be my guy, Genty. Aston Genty. Shout out to that dude. He's a fucking baller. So damn good. That's insane in college football to have that many rushing yards. He's about to break every fucking record. Wow. Y'all know what we're getting into now. I'm going to talk about my Cowboys real quick. Let's talk about my Cowboys. So besides our defense being completely depleted, and Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence is currently on IR. Micah Parsons is week to week with a low ankle sprain. Our offense not being able to run the ball. It's not looking too great, fellas. Not looking great. I mean, Dak, he did okay. He had 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 252 yards passing. Our run game is just terrible. Absolutely awful. Rico Dowdle had 87 yards rushing. Zeke, 6 carries for 17 yards. Jesus Christ, brother. We have to throw the ball 50 times a game to win. And if you know me, I don't believe Dak needs to throw the ball that many times to win a game. We shouldn't have to. We've always been running the ball first. But this year, we just can't run the ball. We can't run the ball. It's terrible. Awful. Jesus. Luckily, we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 2017. Our defense showed up. Define our defense being completely depleted and not having anybody to play the edge. We held them to only 226 yards total offense. Only 92 yards rushing, only 134 yards passing. Held Justin Fields, and that's good. He's lethal with his feet, whether anybody believes it or not. We had 445 yards Total offense, 336 of those came from passing, and only 109 yards rushing. We are currently last in NFL in rush yards. Yeah, you heard that correctly. And yeah, I mean, we had 3 sacks, 75 total plays. Penalties killed us, almost 100 yards in penalties. And Dak had 3 turnovers, so that's what happens when you throw the ball 50 times with Dak. Simply what happens. You can't have Dak throw the ball that many times. It's just not possible. It's not going to end up good for the Dallas Cowboys. It's not. I'm not sure what we're going to do either, because I was waiting for Dalvin Cook to be called up from the practice squad and try to help us out in the run game, but they haven't called him up yet. I don't know what's going on there. Shout out Jalen Tolbert, though. He had 7 receptions, 87 yards, and 1 TD. CD had, 5 receptions, 62 yards. Jake Jefferson really balled out, really, truly. I don't know if you look at the stat sheet, it doesn't look amazing. But if you look at what he did in the game, not only in the receiving part, but also in blocking, dude is good. Dude is really good. We really picked up a gem with him for sure. But yeah, man, our running game needs help, needs work, is what it needs. I don't even know if we got any. Did we get a sack? Yeah, we got 1 and 2 sacks, 3 sacks. Cool. It's just, man, we don't look good. This is not a playoff caliber team right now. We got a lot of shit we need to fix. Throwing the ball 50 times with Dak is one of them. Our D-line is one of them. Our O-line didn't look great. But shit. Pretty upset, man. I had a lot of excitement coming into this season with all the players we signed, with the amount of talent we had. But the amount of talent currently is just being hurt. Being hurt, not being able to run the fucking football. I mean, that's what we always do. We run the fucking football, and then now we can't run the fucking football, and that's a tragedy. That's what we're known for. But anyways, I want to give a shout out one more time to the dumbasses of the week, Georgia, UGA, the Dogs, entire fan base. You all deserve it. Because what y'all do, y'all lose a game, blame it all on one person, and y'all won't dare blame it on Kirby, that's for damn sure. But y'all blame it on Carson Beck. Tell everybody that, we think Brock Vandagriff's better. We lost out on Brock. This guy, listen, Carson Beck is a good quarterback. He made some terrible reads against Alabama. Atmosphere is crazy. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. The atmosphere is crazy. And y'all have been sluggish on the road. It showed in the Alabama game as well as the Kentucky game. Y'all started off slow in the first half. Y'all were down 28-0 at one point, and then you're going to blame it all on Carson Beck like he plays defense. And he doesn't. Jalen Milroe, and it seems to be the case every time y'all play him, at least the past 2 times, because that's the only time y'all got to play him. You can't contain him. He's going to run the ball over you, all over you. And then him and Ryan Williams on that connection is absolutely insane. And then y'all couldn't move the ball. You couldn't run the ball in the first half, couldn't throw the ball, couldn't do anything on offense. You kept your defense out the whole time. And that's when fatigue sets in, and y'all got killed in the first half. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be completely upfront. Y'all came back, and it was good to come back. It was a good moral victory for y'all. But you lost the game. You lost. Now, it's sad that I still have to sit here and talk about this game that's almost 2 weeks old, because all these Georgia fans want to talk about Alabama losing to Vanderbilt. You want to talk about that. And I don't understand it. I don't at all. I don't at all. I don't get it. So how I'm in this podcast is talking about the Vanderbilt Alabama game. And let me tell you, it's fucking hilarious. It is. It was absolutely hilarious. I love to see it. Especially with the quote from Nick Saban saying only easy place to play in SEC is going to Vanderbilt, and then this happens. It's just fucking karma. Jalen Milroe still put up decent numbers. 310 yards passing, one touchdown and one interception. Rushing, it was Jamarion Miller, 5 carries, 45 yards, and 2 tutties. Ryan Williams, 82 yards, a tutty. They just beat Alabama where it mattered. Came out, put up 13 points on the boys. 13-7 going into the second. It was 23-14 going into the third quarter. Alabama started coming back late third quarter, 28-30. Field goal by Vandy, a tutty by Vandy. And then a touchdown by Alabama, and then y'all let them get the first down and they won. Fucking hilarious. 420 yards total offense by my boys in Nashville. 400 yards still by Alabama, but you didn't do enough to win the game. They even had more yards per play. Their defense just didn't show up. It wasn't there. It's fucking hilarious. They took the goalpost down and threw it into the river, the lake, wherever they fucking put it. Alabama, you get the code. This is the first time we're doing this. You get the code dumbass of the week. You lost to Vanderbilt. Lost to Vandy. You get the code dumbass award of the week, and that goes to Alabama and all of Georgia fans. Congratulations. Everybody clap. You lost to fucking Vanderbilt. The first time they've ever been beat an AP number 1 football team, probably even top 5 ever. This is their championship. They are still partying in Nashville to this day. And it's Monday. They're going to be partying until Thursday. They're going to be partying until Thursday. And Crimson Tide, what are we looking at? I mean, what are we doing? All right, so we go and play South Carolina. And then y'all go to play Tennessee at Tennessee. Got Missouri at home. You go to Death Valley and lose to LSU. You play Mercer, beat them. Then you play Oklahoma, beat them. And then you play Auburn, beat them. I see Alabama having 2 losses coming out of this year. And possibly making it to the playoffs. We'll see what happens. But dumbass of the week goes to Georgia fans as well as Alabama. How dare you lose to Vanderbilt? That's the one no-no in college football. You don't lose to Vandy. And you surely did it. And you did it at the best time to do it. Coming off a big win, playing Georgia, beating Georgia like you did, and then going to Nashville and losing to Vandy is fucking poetry. It's fucking poetry. I love it. It's poetry. Literally in motion. Poetry in motion, baby. Love to see it. So this is the 2 dumbasses of the week. Goes to Alabama as well as UGA fans. Brought to you by the Augusta Hemp Company. Go by and see them. Anything you need from THC-infused tequila, bourbon, to gummies, to pre-rolls, whatever you're looking for, they have it. But Alabama losing to Vanderbilt is just beautiful. It's amazing. I absolutely adore it. I love it. This is why I love college football. I used to always be a big NFL fan, and that's because of my Cowboys. But this shit right here, seeing Georgia and Alabama lose in consecutive weeks, makes me wet. Seeing Alabama and Georgia lose in consecutive weeks makes me wet. And even makes me even wetter the fact that Georgia lost to Alabama. Seeing how upset those fans were. And then Alabama going to Vandy, going to Nashville, going out there in the city of country music, and losing to Vandy, the most atrocious program ever known to the SEC. And losing to Vandy. Vandy was 2-2 going into this game. 2-2. All they want is a bowl game, but y'all gave them a national championship. You gave them a national championship. You gave it to them. This is the one they were looking for, and you gave it to them, Alabama. Tuscaloosa was in shambles. Not one Roll Tide. Not Nick Saban. I bet they vandalized Nick Saban's statue. I bet they threw those oatmeal cream pies all over that motherfucker. They vandalized it. They're gonna put some. They're gonna do what's his name did to all the trees. They're gonna poison the fucking trees again. They're gonna poison the fucking trees. They're gonna poison them. They're gonna poison the fucking trees. They're gonna do it. They're gonna poison the trees in Alabama this time. They're gonna do it. They're not doing it in Auburn this time. They're gonna poison all the trees in Alabama. They're gonna poison them. I'm sorry, Mama, but my mama's a big Alabama fan, if all of you don't know. But I bet the oatmeal cream pies were all over Nick Saban's statue. I bet Alabama's calling for Mr. DeBoer's job, wherever you pronounce his fucking name. Jalen Milroe is now the shittiest quarterback, if you ask Alabama fans. They are still crying. People in Nashville are still partying to this day, and they're going to be partying until the next game. They don't even fucking care if they lose the rest of the season. They beat Alabama. And Alabama's going to... This is the worst loss by an SEC, powerhouse since Florida lost to Georgia Southern. It's a fucking glorious day. It is. It's a glorious fucking day. As an LSU Tiger fan, as a Go Tigers fan, this is a beautiful thing to see. I don't care if they lost by 1 point or 50. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's just fucking poetry. Fucking poetry. And everybody's going to hit me after this and say, oh, you're a hypocrite. Blah, blah, blah. You're talking shit about Alabama, too. Oh. Georgia fans, this is for you. LSU hasn't played Alabama yet, so therefore we haven't lost. You lost to these fuckers a week and a half ago. A week and a half ago you lost to these fucks. So I don't want to hear it from y'all. I don't want to hear it. They lost to Vandy, yeah, but y'all lost to them. In back-to-back weeks, Alabama and Georgia lost. If Ohio State loses next week, it's going to be a glorious fucking month. October looking amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And a lot of you are going to hit me and fat check me. I know October didn't start when Georgia... Listen, fuck it, all right? We're calling that loss for Georgia, not September, that's October. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's a glorious 2 weeks. It's awesome. This is what college football is made for. I'm tired of seeing Georgia win every game. I'm tired of seeing Alabama win every game. I'm tired of it. I've had enough. To see Alabama lose, to see Georgia lose, it's amazing. I love it. And they're gonna go down there to Alabama. And them fucks are still crying. They're so depressed they lost to Vandy. So depressed. But you love to see it. Everybody in the SEC right now is smiling ear to ear, except for Georgia and Alabama fans. Y'all lost back-to-back weeks. Georgia, you lost to Alabama in an amazing fashion. It was poetry. Y'all were down 28. You come back. Ryan Williams scored that amazing touchdown. Made two of y'all's defenders just run into each other and give each other a bear hug. Almost kiss. I think I saw two lips hit each other. Pretty sure they kissed on the field. Then Alabama comes to Nashville after a huge win. Big win. Biggest win of the year for them probably. And they go play the Vanderbilt Commodores. Nobody even knows what a fucking Commodore is. Nobody knows. Because nobody cares. They go to Nashville, the city of country music. Vegas, nasty Nashville. And they lose to the Vanderbilt Commodores. In beautiful fashion. Just almost the same way that y'all beat Georgia. Y'all came back. You're only down by 5. And you lose because you can't stop them when they get the first down. Poetry in motion. This week has been amazing. Absolutely love it. And yeah, I still am very high on Jalen Milroe, though, and Ryan Williams, so I don't give a shit about they lost. Fuck it, they did. But I'm still high on Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams, especially because Ryan Williams is only 17 years old. But seeing this, just seeing the fans on all social media be so upset. It makes my week very, very good. Makes my week very good. I enjoy it. I love it. I love it. Vanderbilt, not only they picked up their first win against the AP top 5 team in program history. Program history. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's like watching the Titanic. It's just beautiful. But then you see that motherfucker sink, and it's over. The game's over. Movie's over. So all I have to say is fuck Alabama, fuck Georgia, fuck the SEC if you ain't the LSU Tigers. Go Tigers. Go Cowboys. How about them boys? How about them boys? America's team. But it's still fuck Georgia and fuck Alabama. And I hope all of you Georgia fans that are listening, especially the ones here in Athens, or abroad, anywhere, domestic, abroad, foreign, is fuck Georgia. Fuck Georgia. And I don't even hate the team. I don't even hate the coach. I think Kirby Smart's dope. T-Rob's a great coach. Will Muschamp's a great coach. Fuck, but Mike Bobo's a good fucking offensive coach. It's you disgusting, gross, obnoxious, belligerent, delusional Georgia fans. Ain't nothing finer in the land than a depressed and sad Georgia fan. Ain't nothing finer in the land than a depressed and sad Georgia fan. And that's what I'm ending on right there. If you haven't already listened to my podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your, or wherever you listen to your podcast, I don't give a fuck. As long as you listen, please tell me what you think about this podcast. And like I said before, go see Augusta Hemp Company for all your hemp needs. If you need to get relaxed, go to Augusta. Love y'all. Take care. Thank y'all for listening.